firstly, can you take us through your story?
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for having me. Essentially in early 2018, I was diagnosed with testicular cancer. Kind of in the best shape of my life at the time, completely a bolt out of the blue. But in the months leading up to it, I had a few little lumps one lump on my one of my testicles that I'd sort of been back and forth with the GP to see, and took a couple of months, but ended up being diagnosed in January with testicular cancer, which was a complete shock at the time. It was a whirlwind experience from there. Pretty much within a couple of days, I was in for surgery, having the testicle removed. Obviously, you're being told you have cancer at the time as well. And, a couple of weeks after that, I was into chemotherapy and more treatment down the track. But pretty much a whirlwind 6 months, and then was eventually, after some groundbreaking surgery as well, declared cancer-free. And that was sort of my experience with testicular cancer.
And as you said, it was such a whirlwind, but as you mentioned, you were fit, healthy. Obviously, you're a young person, and the statistics are quite frightening that 60% of Aussie blokes aged between 18 and 34, they don't know that they're actually in that susceptible age group. How important is it to get that message out there, to get tested?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I would have been one of those people that fell squarely within that 60%. My knowledge of testicular cancer was pretty much limited to the fact that Lance Armstrong had it, and that was about it. I didn't know that it was a young man's cancer. 18 to 34 is that prime age group for it. So I think that's the key thing, and why I really like to involve myself with Movember is that I do have some experience now in this, and it's a waste to not use that experience and talk to people my age about it, don the moustache in the month of Movember, and have conversations like we're having right now.
Absolutely, and we can see there that you are growing your moustache. It's almost the end of November, but the messages are still certainly very, very important. Take us through what Movember aims to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So essentially, at the core of it, Movember is aiming to sort of reshape the way we think and discuss men's health in general. So men's health specific issues like mental health, suicide prevention, testicular cancer, prostate cancer. Again, I would have fit into this group of just the generic bloke who thinks he's 10 foot tall and indestructible, especially when you're young, and doesn't have conversations like what we're having now and other ones between friends about their health. So to normalise those conversations, but then wider than that, they use a lot of the funding that they do raise through the month of November, and they actually are funding a lot of really, really interesting programs that are doing a lot of good work. One of them that I've been involved with in particular is a program called True North. So essentially that's a guidance program using people like myself to reach out to people who've just been diagnosed and give them sort of that patient's perspective, something that I know when I was diagnosed, I was just straight onto Google and looking at forums. And you just want to talk to someone who's been through it. So creating a platform for all that research in one space, from the doctors, from the experts, but also a resource for the newly diagnosed people to reach out to, I think is a great cause and a great initiative that they've taken.
And you said, about having this conversation, not just about cancer, but checking yourself, but also mental health. For men, sometimes that conversation might be a little bit more challenging. And how important is it to try and reduce that stigma?
Oh, massively. And I absolutely fit into the mental health as well. Like, it was never really too much of an issue for me before everything that happened with me, but cancer knocked me for six and definitely took a toll on my mental health. And that was just another thing. Even having gone through testicular cancer, there's still that stigma in your mind around you can't have this discussion around your mental health because there's some sort of perceived weakness with it. So I think just reshaping that viewpoint in general is one of the most important things that Movember does. I've had plenty of conversations since with friends that I didn't know had their own mental health issues, and I relish opportunities to to speak about it frankly and give perspective wherever I can.
Absolutely. Movember is such a wonderful initiative. And just finally, Ben, what would be your advice for men out there?
I think just to realise you're not indestructible, and that no one's judging you for taking care of yourself. You know, the onus is on you to take care of yourself. So you've got to be proactive with these sorts of things, whether it's performing your regular self-examinations in the shower with your taking care of your testicles, or if it's, being proactive with your prostate, or just having those conversations with your friends. I think, just really take it upon yourself to take care of yourself. And just because you're a man doesn't mean you shouldn't be in good health.